Hey, it's Michael and welcome to my house. Today is RSL day at my house, and it's RSL day because today I got the brand new Subwoofer 10E. Now, a little background. I already own the 10S Mark II, and I had the opportunity to get the 10E because RSL asked me if I would like to review it. And I said yes, because I had been considering getting a second 10S Mark II. But I decided, I don't really need to spend the money for that. When I contacted them and talked to them about it, they offered a 10E so that I could review it and add it to my system. So thanks, RSL. I'm going to have some opinions about the speaker, though, and they are my own opinions. RSL has no input whatsoever on my thoughts about these speakers. So first of all, let me just say the 10S Mark II has been fabulous in my system. Once in a while, I unhook the speaker just to see what it's going to sound like without it, and man, it goes on as soon as possible. It adds so much depth to the music, and I usually use it mostly for music because my room here is not the best room for surround sound for movies. I just have cathedral ceilings, lots of glass, poured concrete floor, so it's really terrible. But as far as for listening just music, the subwoofer really rounds everything out and just gives me an amazing amount of sound in this room. Now the 10E, there are some fundamental differences between the two speakers. What is going to cause you to get the 10E versus the 10S Mark II versus the 12S? Well, primarily for many people, it's going to be the cost. So the 12S is going to run you $799. The 10S Mark II is going to cost $449, and the 10E comes in at a paltry $299. How could you get a very good speaker for $299? Well, let me tell you, one of the main reason is RSL is selling you the speaker direct from the factory. There's no middleman, so you save a ton of money in markup along the way. So that is the primary reason you can get such a good quality speaker with such a great reputation. So will the 10E work well with the 10S Mark II? It's fantastic. Two speakers is better than one. One speaker is better than none, all right? But two definitely is the way to go if you can afford it. So in my case, since I have a 10S Mark II, the 10S Mark II does have a built-in receiver, which means if you get the transmitter, you can then run your subwoofer wirelessly. Now, I was under the mistaken belief that if I had the 10S Mark II, I could simply daisy chain the 10E to it. Well, you can, unless you're running the 10S Mark II wirelessly. Here's where it gets a little tricky. If you are running your 10S Mark II wirelessly, you cannot simply daisy chain with a cable the 10E to it. You do need to get the receiver, the AR4 receiver, and only then can you quote-unquote daisy chain it to your 10S Mark II. So for most people, the best and least expensive solution is going to be run a cable to your 10S Mark II and then daisy chain with a cable from your Mark II to your 10E. I also want to discuss the differences between the 10S Mark II and the 10E just to show you what you're going to lose by getting the 10E, but also you're going to gain more money in your pocket. All right, let's take a look. Look at the back panels on both speakers. The Mark II is on the left, the 10E is on the right. In a nutshell, here are the main differences between the two speakers. The 10E does not have a high-pass filter. The 10E has a 12 dB versus 24 dB low pass. There are no speaker level inputs on the 10E. There's no DSP on the 10E. And there is no built-in wireless on the 10E. The biggest difference between the two is the Mark II is a 400 watt amp, whereas the 10E is a 300 watt amp. And then again, one of the most major differences is the basket in the Mark II is a rigid die cast basket, whereas the 10E is using a stamped steel basket. Now, for many people, that is not going to really make a difference. And they did have to cut some costs somewhere in order to sell the speaker for such a reasonable price. In my situation, I can't tell the difference. a true audiophile who has the most critical of ears, you may be able to hear a little bit of a difference, but I can't. So for the money, the 10E is just a phenomenal speaker for the money. And now I'm going to hook these up over here and just show you what this thing looks like with them stacked. All right, when I originally had my two subs, I stacked them and I had them over there in the corner. But subsequently, I decided they sounded better separated, so I just put one on each side of the couch. A couple random thoughts is they do have an LED in the back, and the LED is a different color on each of the subwoofers. So that's a little weird, and I don't know why they decided to change LED colors. There's the other one right there. And at night, you can see the LED on my wall behind the speaker. And it's kind of obnoxious, to be honest about it. I can always cover the LED up with a piece of tape, I suppose. So the other issue that I had, and it took me literally weeks, if not months, to finally figure it out, was I was really having a hard time getting these integrated well with my Control4 system and the new Sony amp that I bought. So that was really an issue. So here's my Control4 rack, and basically the Sony amp was really just not set up properly, and the Control4 guy that set it up just did a terrible job. So I went in finally and I just did the auto setup with using the microphone to set up the speakers, and once I did that, suddenly everything worked really well. So I'm very happy about that. Overall, the speakers add so much to my music, and it's really amazing. You just get a very wonderful balanced sound with those subs, and when I turn the subs off, I just feel, wow, like I'm missing out on so much. So I can highly recommend the 10E. I think for the money, you just absolutely cannot beat it. It is a wonderful addition, and I just can't believe you can get such a good piece of equipment at such a reasonable price. Questions about the speaker, leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to answer it. And if I can't answer it, I'll refer you on to RSL. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. Catch you next time.